Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our third podcast. Today with us, we have special guests, none other than Ella Bott. I met Ella playing beach soccer with Brian for Beach Soccer LA. She's an amazing player. And with us again today is our co-host, Michelle Rose. Everybody knows Michelle, a pro player, plays for Guatemala national team. And she did not come alone. So Michelle is going to be running the show today. Before we get started, I would like for us to actually just personally introduce ourselves. I'm going to start with you, Ella. You're going to kick it off. Introduce yourself, and then we're going to pass it along.
Hi, I'm Ella, but I play for HPK Slammers. I go to Santa Margarita Catholic High School, and I'm 14 years old.
I'm Michelle Rose. I play for the Guatemala national team. I'm not in high school anymore. Currently trying to play overseas in Europe, and that's about it right now. Okay, my name is Mafer Contreras. A little hard to pronounce, but I also play for the Guatemala national team. I am a defensive center mid, sometimes attacking, and trying to play pro overseas, hopefully this semester.
Amazing. So we wish both of them success towards their professional careers. Ella is going to be starting her. I mean, she's already in there. She's working towards becoming a professional player in higher levels. Maybe play for Real Madrid at some point or Barcelona. Actually, is what I'm thinking. I think she's more of a Barcelona player. But you never know, you know. And Michelle, we're wishing her the best. Hopefully, she gets to go to Europe. She's a good defender, and so is Maf is an amazing defender as well. So, with that said, we're gonna let Michelle take over and get us going.
Sounds good. All right, so welcome to Fieldtalk. Just going to start with just some basic conversations just to get things going. We know that you've traveled across Europe to play in Denmark, Sweden, Spain, all over. What was the biggest cultural or soccer-related difference you've noticed compared to the U.S.?
I feel like they just have soccer everywhere. Like everywhere I look, they had soccer on, and like in the games, like they cheered with like drums and like singing. It was awesome. I feel like out there, like I said, it's just like soccer's everywhere, and that's all they talk about. And like their fans are crazy. Like they lit fireworks in the stadiums, and they had drums and made songs. I feel like it was crazy over there, and as like a player watching and being able to watch it in person instead of like just on film, it was even better just to see it.
So going back to your travels, competing against clubs like FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, that's a dream for many players to have. It's a dream of mine. I don't know about you too, right? I think so. What was it like stepping onto those fields against those powerhouse teams?
I was filled with nerves at the beginning, but then when I got into like warming up and everything, I like eased down, and excitement kind of took over.
Nice. Did you get to play in like the main stadiums, or what kind of fields were you?
Because we're at Real Madrid, we played at their training facility,
Oh, nice.
and then for Barcelona, we just played in like a cool like hidden field.
Oh, those are kind of cool. I feel like
fun.
in Europe, it's kind of like that. You'll be walk through like a forest of trees, and all of a sudden you peek a corner, and you're like, oh shit, there's a whole pitch here. Like, what?
Yeah.
So moving on with that, how did you adapt to the different styles of play when you were facing international competition? Because like in US, we're kind of the momentum of we're like bigger, faster, stronger. It's like pure athleticism. How does that differ from the rest of the world?
Spain, their style of play is awesome. I love how they just do tiki-takas and everything.
Yeah.
And then in Denmark and Sweden, they were more like kind of like bigger, faster, and stronger, but also like passing around, and they like were very like smart with how they did it.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So taking a little bit back to the beginning of your soccer career, what first got you into soccer? I think that's always like a very interesting story. And like, when did you realize that this was something you wanted to pursue?
I was 4 when I started soccer, and my dad was kind of telling me about it because he used to be a soccer player.
Okay.
But I stopped for a little bit and tried gymnastics. That wasn't my favorite. So I went back to soccer, and I was like, there's nothing better than this, and I just kept going.
I don't know if this is applicable, but I feel like I also did gymnastics, and I don't know if this is like American Girl rite of passage. I honestly, it was weird. I was like, wait a second. I was also in gymnastics. I also did not like it, but I really like jumping into the foam pit. So I liked flipping. Like that was like my favorite thing. But everything else I hated. And then my mom finally eventually was like, you're not doing this anymore. And I was like, yes.
I was asking my mom every day if I could just skip, and she's like, if you don't want to go, just tell me.
Oh, that's nice. My mom made me still go, unfortunately.
With that kind of support, what does it tell about your family or your parents?
My parents are really supportive in everything I do, and if I want to do something, they'll support me no matter what.
That's pretty awesome. And is that who you think inspires you the most to continue playing at this level and continue your career in soccer?
I do soccer for myself, and I have goals that I want to achieve, and they're just saying that they're there to help me to achieve those goals.
Nice. I guess sidebar for is that with same with you? Are your parents that helped inspire you to continue your career?
Yeah, I would say my parents definitely have been part of the foundation, and like they've been always there to support me, and like I tell them what I want to do, and sometimes it's like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do this, but you should do that, and then I think about it, and then it's like that's how I guess I've been growing across the sport. I see you have this your name in this U14 Girls National ID Camp. Can you tell us like how was it when you first realized that we're going to it? Like that cool or that like how did you find out?
My dad told me that I got an email about it, and I was just so excited, and it felt like all my hard work kind of paid off, and I was just excited to show everyone what I got.
Did you ever get nervous? Because I hear you're saying that you got excited about it and you wanted to show off. Like I think that's a pretty good mindset to have. Like did you ever feel like nervous about it? Like how did you feel when you first stepped on that field to show the coaches what you had to in your legs, you know, your feet, like the football you had?
Yeah. Obviously, like, the nerves are with it, and, like, for one of the camps, I had to fly by myself across, the country, and it was kinda scary, but when I noticed that I knew all the girls and, like, kinda adapted to it, it was more, like, easy.
Nice. And kind of going off that with your traveling, you've been to a lot of college ID showcases, tournaments, flying all over the world. What do you think the most challenging part of balancing this high level competition with the pressure of being recruited? Because I'll speak up with me personally. I was seen as more of an unseen player going through this process. So for me, I want to say less pressure because there wasn't as big of a social media presence for people to watch me. So maybe in turn, when I was watched in those smaller moments, it was a little bit more pressure. But for the most part, I just got to be me and play. So you are a little bit getting seen by the national team, playing overseas, going to these ID camps. Like that is a lot of pressure that you're feeling. So what do you think is the most challenging part of all of that?
I would say just, like, overcoming, like, your nerves and, like, being able to be like, "It's okay. Like, it's just a game. You go step by step, and whatever happens, happens." And sometimes I feel like the coaches on the sidelines watching, it kind of motivates me and, like, makes me, like, be like, "Okay, I have to do it. They're watching me for a reason."
Yeah, I think that's a great mindset. They're watching me for a reason. I really like that. What are some key lessons or insights you've gained from all these elite camps that have helped you improve your game specifically?
I'd say probably just being, like, a team player and, like, team first, and there's not, like, a me and team or whatever. And, like, just, like, sharing the ball kinda and, like, giving it to everyone.
Yeah, and I think that's super important, especially in the position you play. Like, there's a lot of comparisons that they use that say like center mids are like the quarterbacks of soccer. They're the ones that help facilitate the speed play and the distribution and the movement. So I think that's super important. Like you said, that it's really important that you kind of focus on that.
That's why I picked the center mid. I like being in the middle of everything.
Yeah. You're like shining, but then also like letting other people shine as well. That's pretty cool.
Can you guide us through a week of training? What does it look like for you on your weekly basis?
Right now with high school, we just have like high school for school, and then right after we have trainings, and sometimes when we have games right after, we just go straight into it.
Okay.
But for like club and stuff, I do twice a week with my HPK Slammers, and I stay after to play with the 2008 HPK Slammers. So I like playing with them because they make me better, and seeing them like helps me improve my game and stuff.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, like nutrition, I know it's like kind of big. Is that something you focus on like at this age, or like how do you handle that?
Well, I know like good things and bad things, but I also think if you're like working as hard as some people are, like sometimes you need that sugar to like fuel yourself, and like, but like other things like protein and stuff, I'm using it and stuff for like gaining muscle and stuff. So
Do you do specific weight training, or
not.
to
I have weights for my high school team, but I'm just going to the gym with my dad sometimes.
okay.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good balance. I think on the younger side, especially, it's like they worry about student growth and all that jazz. So not too much of a pressure on that. So talking about you have all the success you've had, in your past and so far, what's the next big goal for you? Like, what are you working towards?
Right now for high school, we just achieved Trinity League champs.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. I would really love to be CIF champs and regional champs. And then for HBK, we're trying to go for that three.
3P. That's pretty cool. Good you didn't see. Here's a ring. It's pretty cool. That looks like a college ring, like, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so one last thing. If you could give any advice to younger players hoping to follow in your footsteps, what do you think that would be?
I would say just giving your best every single day, and if you work hard enough, you can keep achieving what you want, and nothing's in your way to stop you. Just keep doing you.
Nice. I think those are some great words that you're sharing for the younger generation. It's funny, like, her speaking about the younger generation, because for me, like, you are the younger generation. I love it. It's like, it's so like we've talked about, like, inspiring to see the growth of the sport and seeing like the now 14-year-olds inspiring like the next level of like 7-year-olds. If you had a little middle schooler coming here to check you out, to talk to you about like your steps because she wants to do that because she's watching you. I think that's so inspiring that you're taking the time to do that for these girls, because I feel like it's something that we're moving in the direction to for women's soccer.
And that also motivates me when I'm on the field, because I know some girls are watching. Oh, so I want to show them.
Yeah.